Today, I'm going to be showing you how we can take a folder that looks like this messy junk with downloads from years ago, and completely tidy it up with a Python script in a matter of minutes forever. You'll be able to neatly sort all your documents, all your images, all your cat photos, all your dog photos, all your music, whatever you want with this script without manually having to do it all yourself. Okay guys, so first thing, just open up Visual Studio Code and open up an empty folder. And then from here, we go to our terminal and we just want to check what Python version you have. So for me, I've got Python version, I think 3.9 something. If you do Python -- version, you'll be able to tell. Now 3.9.4 is fine for what we need to do today. I think the minimum requirement is 3.6 or above. And that's because we're going to be using a module called Watchdog. And Watchdog is a pip installable module which will allow us to basically monitor a directory for changes, which is what we want to do. And as you can see here, it says it only works on 3.6 and above. So now from here at your terminal, all you're going to do is just go pip install Watchdog. And I've actually already got this, but I'll just install it anyways, just to show you. So I've already got the requirements already satisfied. Alright, so now once you've got that installed, we're just going to create a new Python file, and we'll just call this like autofolder.py, just like that. And we want to import the time module, import the OS, and we're going to import the observer class from the watchdog.observers module. And lastly, we need to import the file system event handler from the watchdog.events module. So file system event handler, like that. Alright, so now just open up your file explorer and bring in the folder that you want to clean up. And we're just going to get the file path. So for me, this is the downloads folder for my PC, and you can just get the file path by right clicking anywhere in the folder. You're going to show more options, properties, and then I'm just going to copy this whole thing. And we're going to create a variable called watch folder, and we'll paste that in. And then I've got to put in downloads there. And I just need to flip around the slashes to be like that. Okay, cool. And now we just need to have a second variable for the folder to which we're going to dump the files in. So I'm going to call this dump folder, and I've got a folder back in my file explorer I want to use, which is called testpy within my documents folder. So I'll just go properties again, copy this all, and I'll paste it in, put another slash there, and I'll call this testpy. Again, just flip the slashes around. Sweet, now we have both our watch folder and our dump folder variables. Next, we're going to define a class which we're later going to pass into the observer. So we'll call this class myWatcher or something. And this needs to inherit the file system event handler. And the reason why we're doing that is so that we can actually override a function within the file system event handler called onModified. So I'll just tab that, and that creates that code. And I'll just show you what this is. So if I go to the definition of the file system event handler class, and we scroll down to the onModified function. So this is called when a file or directory is modified, and we're just going to override that to basically do what we want to do instead. Alright, so now we've got our function here that we're overriding. I'm just going to say for file in os.listdir and passing in the watch folder. So for any file in our watch folder, I want to do this basically. I want to say source equals watch folder plus / plus file, and then move to equals dump folder plus / plus file. And now we can pass these variables into the os.rename function, which will actually move those files. Just like that. Alright, cool. So let's just make sure that we put our colons onto our for loop and also for the class. And we just have to indent this a little bit more, I think, and that should be okay. Cool. Alright, so now let's actually go ahead and instantiate the observer class. So we'll say event handler equals myWatcher, observer equals observer, and now we have to run the observer.schedule function, passing in the event handler and then also our folders. So we'll say watch folder, and we're going to set recursive to true as well. Okay, now we want to start the observer, and now we're just going to make it that while it's on, while it's true, that this will just keep repeating for every 10 seconds, right? I'll just say finally here, observer.stop and observer.join. Okay, so that is literally everything we need to do. But before we actually run this, I want to just change something as well, because I don't want this to actually move everything, which is what it's currently going to do. For now, initially, I think I'm only going to want it to move just images, and I think this will also give you a clearer picture of sort of what it's kind of doing as well. So we'll go back to our for loop, and we're just going to add an if statement here, right? So we'll say if file contains, and we'll say all our .jpegs, right? And then we just have to indent this again to be in our if statement, and that's it. So for any file in our watch folder directory, if it contains .jpeg, we're going to move it to the dump folder, okay? So now let's actually go ahead and run this. I'm just going to get my test.py directory up, and now I'll just do a quick run of this. So auto-folder.py. If I run this now, what's that saying? We've got an unexpected keyword argument recursive. Okay, that should be recursive with a C. Alright, now take two. Let's go again. Alright, py auto-folder.py. Let's check this out. We spelt it wrong again. Alright, this is take three. This is what happens when I look at code for too long. Alright, let's go. Py auto-folder.py. Run. Alright, it's doing it. It's working. Alright, so now if we go to our test.py folder, we should see some movement here happening in a second. We don't see anything at the moment. Do you know why this might be happening? That is because we're waiting, well, this is actually waiting for something to be changed on the folder. So it's waiting for a modification. So if we actually just go to the downloads folder, and I just say, I don't know, let's try, even touching it does it. Okay, there we go, it's gone. Let's go back to our test.py, and boom, all our pictures are now here from the downloads folder. How good is that? Alright, so I'm going to turn this off now with Control C, and there we go. So that has moved all our files that had .jpeg in it into our dump folder. Alright, so now I know I promised you that you could do documents and your cat's photos, your dog photos and everything, so we're going to keep going here, right? So we don't have to do much else. All we have to do now is just add a couple more if statements and just some extra dump folders, really. So from here, all we have to do is just define another dump folder. So I'll say dump folder 2 equals, say this, except I'll replace this with my pictures folder or something. And I've actually got this pictures folder over here called pypics, so I'll just call it that instead. So this will be pypics, and this should be pictures over here. Okay, so now all we have to do is just do another else if statement to cover a different file type, really. So we'll say copy all that, and I can just paste this in pretty much from here. Oh, our indenting got all hid. Alright, sweet. So just make this an elif, and I'll say PNGs instead. So all our PNGs are going to go to dump folder 2 here. And I think that's basically all we need. So we're still watching the same file, the same folder, sorry, but we're moving it to dump folder 2 for any file that contains PNG. Okay, so let's give this a bash. I'll just say py auto-folder.py, and we'll go make a modification in our downloads folder. And I'll go back now to pypics. Still nothing there. All right, let's try this out again. What's it waiting for? We'll do this one. Some sort of modification to the folder. Still nothing there. Okay, let's see what we have here. Oh well, just looking back at it, turns out I don't have any PNGs in here. Alright, so we'll make it PDFs instead. How about that? So I'll just turn this off again, cancel it, and we'll make this PDF. Save that, and we'll restart it. Go back to our folder here, and I'll just make a modification or something again. I think we should see this move any second, hopefully. Oh, What happened here? Alright, so a couple of them moved, but now it says this process, because it's being accessed by another file. Okay, maybe that was me actually accessing it, so I'll just try to restart this again. I think maybe because I was actually trying to rename it, it got stuffed up there. So I'll just restart that. And I'll just go back to my pictures Pi folder. And there we go, we've got all these PDFs now that have come across. I did notice actually as well that there was 2 PDFs there still, these 2 here. But I think those are there, they are there because they have PDF in capitals. So basically to capture these ones, we would have to sort of just say if uppercase file contains uppercase string basically, or capital JPEG. So just force the uppercase and you should be able to get around that. So yeah, anyways guys, this wraps it up basically. I think I've demonstrated hopefully how you can, keep building this on to include as many folders and as many top file types you want, so that all your music goes somewhere, all your MP4s go somewhere, all your .jpegs, your PDFs, all your documents go to different spots, right? And of course, this doesn't have to be exclusive to your personal computer or something. If you're trying to apply this to say like an SFTP server, where you want to move a folder whenever somebody uploads something, this is a perfect solution for that as well. And just lastly as well, if you want to keep taking this even further, you could try doing something like, if you get a folder that has a certain file type, to then maybe send it to a cloud service like, I don't know, like Google Drive or Dropbox, where you store it in the cloud automatically using an API. And one last final thing actually as well is that if you want to run this command and have it run in the background as a background process, so you don't have to have Visual Studio Code up and running all the time, you can just execute it using the PyW executable. So you'd say PyW auto folder .py instead. But just make a note of that. If you're trying to close it off, you won't be able to do that without going to like Task Manager or something like that. So that is how you do that. Anyways guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, enjoyed the content, make sure you smash that subscribe button, like it, share it. It really helps me to keep pumping out videos just like this. So thanks guys.